Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Do you know what? I actually should change the logo on YouTube. It's still got the logo up there. I've only just noticed, so maybe
Yeah,
that's something
but-
I've got to do.
But good. But god damn it, that intro song. Every single time I see Mikey Van de Ven score that goal,
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I want to see
It-
more. I want to see more.
Yeah, it's me when Colin made that intro for me, and we were up. He was starting the night shift, so we were up to 4 a.m. to design he was doing all the work. I was just in there nattering, giving my input.
Right.
And I said to him, "Can you put in there James Maddison goal at Man City away?" For me, that's goal
Yeah.
of the season. That is my Tottenham goal of the season. But
It's one of them for sure.
no, for me, that's my personal goal of the season. It really is. I love that goal. But good evening, guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die. Your home at Tottenham, past, present, and exciting future under a massive cockerel. Now, you could take that either way you like. You could take it the rude way or non the rude way. But I'm saying it non-rudely. But I know you lot in the chat have a dirty mind. Especially
Yeah.
you, Wayne Bonner, because I know how you think. It's not going to be one of them streams either. So don't get carried away. Joining me tonight, of course, is the American hotspot. Well, I don't know if I should call you that or not, because we have got the
Yeah.
Irish hotspot. Do I call you the American hotspot? I mean,
Absolutely.
is that
Absolutely.
a nickname we should give you? But Steve, you're back off your
Yeah.
holidays. Great to have you
Yeah.
back, man.
Yeah, you can call me
How are
the
you?
American
How are
Hotspot.
you in this Friday? It's Friday afternoon for you.
I'm excellent, man. I'm rested, which I didn't think that would happen over a 24-hour period on my way back from Seattle, just because, as you get older, changing time zones, definitely has a massive effect on you. So I was able, last night I was able to get some rest. So I feel absolutely fantastic. But let me say that you can call me the American Hotspur. As a matter of fact, I welcome it because I think it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, for 100%, that if not to be prideful, not to be arrogant. I know that Americans are definitely arrogant. But
Really?
yeah, the American, yeah,
Really?
really,
Really?
yeah.
That's
So
news
yeah, the
to me.
American, yeah, that's news, right? Yeah. So 100%.
Oh Lord! Oh, you do make me laugh. That's news. I never thought American would be honest about himself, but you are. So
No, it's like the worst kept secret that Americans have this colloquial arrogance to them that regardless of whatever field of competition we step in, regardless if it's sports, politics, whatever the case may be, music, whatever, we feel like we're the best at everything that we do. And so there's naturally this arrogance and cockiness towards Americans. So
bit like the Irish, bit like us.
yeah, but it doesn't matter where you're from, whether it's Ireland, England, the United States. Be proud of where you're from. Be proud.
It is. I'm proud. I mean, I'm very proud to be Irish. Everyone knows
Yeah.
I'm very patriotic about my country.
Yeah.
Unless you're Stephen Kenny, and then he's the most useless fucking manager ever in the world that he can go. I swear to God, Steve, I mean, these lot in the chat, Wayne Bonner, that trying to say Stephen Kenny would be a manager. I do not want that man in my football club. He couldn't manage a bunch of eggs properly. Let's see who's in the chat, who's joining us. We've got a new member, a gold membership as well. This is Tony, who's in a WhatsApp members group. He's starting a new YouTube channel, Spurs Side Chat. He did invite me on. I think I'm going on there next week. If not, Steve, I'll get you to go on in my place if it's later on, because I'm away on holiday from next. I'm away on holiday from next Wednesday. Can't wait.
Yep.
But do good over. So go on.
Oh, I was going to say congratulations to Spurs Side Chat. It's absolutely brilliant that he decided to be a gold member. And we encourage everybody to get at least that gold membership, because with it, there's going to be a lot of good stuff that's going to happen this summer. When it comes to our members. So congratulations, Spurs Side Chat, and it's awesome that you're on board.
Big up, and even good over to Spurs Side Chat as well, and welcome them in. Big up to Wayne Bonner. He says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Have Spurs signed me yet? No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. 1st of June, we may do. 1st of June. I hear Liverpool already to sign somebody on the 1st of June, by the way. They're out the blocks quick. Is it you?
No.
All right. See you then. See you then. Big up Wayne Bonner. What have I done? I'm innocent, sort of. No, you're not innocent, Wayne. No. Okay. You're innocent. And big up the Spurs diehards. Tottenham till I die. Big up to Adrian, says good evening, Dermot, Steve, and external. Big up to Adrian. Hope you are doing well. It is a season review. What a roller coaster, Steve. I mean, you come into the channel sort of near the end of the season. But it's been a long season. It really has. But tomorrow, I wish there was a game tomorrow now. I wish there was a game I wish tonight we were gearing up for a game. It's funny, isn't it? We all say we can't wait for the end of the season, and then suddenly the summer comes and we miss our Spurs. But a lot of news going around. I know you rumored some news that is floating around in the rumored sphere about Ange Postecoglou. We had a conversation about it earlier, didn't we? What we thought. So I want to start on that. I want to start on Ange before we get into the stats of the season and other bits and pieces that I've put together. If you look at Ange Postecoglou as a whole, he's done his mandate, hasn't he? He's done what he's set in his contract to do. Champions League, win a trophy. And he's done it in one fell swoop. I think he deserves more credit than what he's getting, personally. If you were trying to convince an Ange out person why Ange Postecoglou should stay in one word, what would that word be?
Let's keep it honest, right? He's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
And if you look at the totality of his 2 years in his stewardship, he has been better than Antonio Conte. He was better than Jose Mourinho. And in some contexts, he was better than Mauricio Pochettino. Dare I say it? Because in his 2 seasons, in his first season, he placed 5th and got Europa League qualification. And in his second season, losses notwithstanding, he won the Europa League and qualified for the Champions League.
But then, look, I agree with you 100%. But I think the league matters as well. If you look at the league, the league matters. So it's a really difficult decision Levy has to make. I mean, I was speaking to Philip Brady today. He rang me and he sort of made a good point to me that Levy's damned if you do and damned if you don't. You know, if he doesn't sack him, he's going to have people on his back. If he does sack him, it's going to look crazy. And what message does that send to the next manager?
Correct.
But one thing about it, we don't know about Mourinho because he was sacked 6 days before a cup final. So we will never know if he would have beaten Pep, and I think he would have done.
But you know, at the end of the day, though, it's about trophies, correct?
It is. It is about trophies.
At the end of the season, you are judged by your trophy haul or your lack thereof. And the reality is he is the first manager to deliver on a trophy. Now, granted, you're absolutely right. Your league form and your results definitely matter. And he made a decision to essentially kick off the rest of the Premier League season by putting all his eggs in the Europa League basket. That was a conscious decision that he and his staff made, and there were always going to be consequences to that decision. On the one hand, it paid off, and he won it. But on the other, he suffered the most defeats ever in as a Tottenham manager. And I think at the end of the day, those are the results, because as you know, Derma, this team is all about revenue and profit. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And when you finish 17th, instead of finishing in the top 10, which would have been worth X amount to this club, and when you affect the bottom line of this club, you are going to suffer the consequences of Daniel Levy, because he is all about finishing as high as you can, getting Champions League and making money. And this was something that he probably wanted to avoid. But unfortunately, this is what happens. And, here's the thing. I mean, if Ange Postecoglou was done, the only thing I'm going to say is thank you for your stewardship in your 2 years. And thank you for the Europa League trophy, because you did deliver. But outside of that, Derma, it would not be, put it this way, it wouldn't be surprising if we have a new manager for the 2025-2026 season.
I wouldn't be shocked either. Either way, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think if you win a trophy, you deserve that next season to go and prove yourself again. You've done something. But as people say, you look at Randy Ramos, he didn't have a great start, and they were sacked within 6-7 months after winning that League Cup. Look, for me, I love Ange, always have done. I said, I said to probably at the end of the Europa League that maybe I lost faith, but I never lost hope he would win us a trophy. But you also, no man's bigger than the club, and the club have to go in the right direction. Now, we know Paratici's coming back. We were the first channel to break that.
Sure.
And that starts on the 1st of July. Paratici didn't want Levy there. So there's one knock against him. You got
Paratici didn't want Levy or Ange?
Ange.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Didn't want Ange. We've got the new CEO as well. He has to have an opinion on it. Now, for what I've read, and I read an article about the new CEO today, it was his idea to put all the scarves out and Bodo away for the Tottenham fans. It was his idea to have, he done something for the families and the people that work for the club for the Europa League final. He paid for lunches for them, or he cut half price. He's doing little things that are really beneficial for the football club. And he's not like Jim Ratcliffe. I'm Colin Spatter talking to me, but you look what he's doing. They're not looking after their ex-players, where I think Tottenham do look after their ex-players. Tottenham do an awful lot behind the scenes that is not out in the media. I mean, they paid for Jimmy Greaves' medical fees when Jimmy Greaves was, before he passed away. They've paid. I think they helped Bobby Smith as well when he fell in hard times. So they do have a knack of looking after their own.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and especially in this season, considering the injury crisis and the losses, it was vastly important for Tottenham Hotspur, the chairman, and then also the new CEO, to make sure you mend fences and make sure that goodwill to the club, to the fans, is still there, because you do not want to disrespect your fans in a season where you're already essentially disrespecting what the result is in the league. And so I personally thought it was a stroke of brilliance from the club to make sure that they embrace the fans and they don't alienate fan bases, because obviously that has an effect on your season tickets, blah, 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 blah. Versus Manchester United, when what was it, Radcliffe, not only did he gut Man United, but he also wouldn't pay for front office personnel to go down to that final, and it was Ruben Amorim that paid out of his own pocket, right? So because he didn't want that bad blood between the fans and the club, and so from that standpoint, you have to appreciate Spurs from that standpoint, making sure that they're embracing everyone.
Very quickly on that, I really feel for Colin and Kevin, both big Manchester United fans. I really feel them on a football fans point of view. Yeah, you can have banter about Manchester United, but if you look at the state of their club and you look at our club, and you look at what the Glazers have done for over 15, 20 years they've been there. And I know we've got our gripes against our ownership, and rightly so. and rightly so, never backed a manager. He's never really invested into the football club. Joe Lewis just doesn't do anything. But you look at the
is a non-entity. Joe Lewis is a non-entity.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the billionaire, but you look at our stadium to Old Trafford, and you look at the way we're run and how they're run, and I think you do have to count yourself lucky. I think in some way, shape, or form, we may not all be love Levy.
Correct.
Business side, you cannot fail him for what he's done on the business side. Football side, you can rightly criticize him for what he's done on the football side, and rightly so. But I think if you look at the business side, you look at the new stadium, the training facilities, and I don't mind the concerts. I don't mind the boxing. I don't mind the NFL.
Nope.
As long as that money goes back into the football side, that's all I care about.
Right. And you're absolutely right. This absolutely could be worse, because the 2024-2025 season notwithstanding, which I believe is an aberration, and this will never happen again. No. Generally speaking, we never have to worry about relegation. We're not that club, right? Even in a down year, we're not going to finish outside of the top 10, which is a testament to the sustainability of what Daniel Levy was able to accomplish at Tottenham Hotspur. And that is something that a lot of teams want, but can't achieve. For Manchester United, it has been a slow death since the end of Sir Alex Ferguson's time with the club. And it really has been getting closer to falling off that cliff. And I think this was the first season for Manchester United. When you look at their ownership structure, you look at the fact that their ownership are taking money out of their club and not reinvesting it. And you look at the fact that Ruben Amorim didn't necessarily really want to come to Manchester United, but it's Manchester United. So you're
not going to say no.
You're not going to say no, but he actually, didn't necessarily want to be there, which was made known after the Europa League final, where he said that if it's something that they want to do, I have no problem resigning. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those statements are being made because he's had a 6-month look in the club and doesn't like what he sees. And I'll just say it right now. If they do not get the right football personnel in their front office, there's a very good chance within the next 2 years, Manchester United goes down.
Yeah.
I'll just say it. It's tough for me to say, but what have you seen from Manchester United versus Tottenham that makes you believe that we're closer to the bottom than they are this season, notwithstanding? When you look at everything on the business side that Tottenham has achieved, there is no chance ever for relegation with this team. And again, this season notwithstanding.
And it's quite funny, isn't it? Because Man United were never in debt, were printing money.
Yep.
I mean, they would print money under the Edwards family, and they were up there winning leagues, winning trophies. While we were down struggling mid-table,
to stay up.
Just to stay up. And it really angers me that, I mean, Man United we're a big club, right? Tottenham Hotspur are a big club. Manchester United are a big club as well. They're a massive club. They're if you're talking about legacy, I know in America there's a lot of legacy fact, which I don't like the word, but I'm just trying to use it. If you're looking at top 3 clubs in the world that you look at, it would be Man United, Liverpool, and probably Tottenham or Chelsea or whatever. But you are looking at Man United, Liverpool. It's the 2 biggest clubs in the world, apart from Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Sure.
But for the Premier League, it's Man United and Arsenal, right? To see Man United and Liverpool, but to see how far they have fallen, even after Matt Busby died, they went on a nosedive. And it took to Fergie coming back to grab them and get them back up again.
Yep.
A lot of people saying, well, I'm talking about Manchester United, I'm going to get to the point that they're using the Ten Hag scenario with Ange Postecoglou. Totally different. Because Ten Hag, the players didn't want him there, and the fans wanted him out as well. The fans I don't think want them there either. The players are united behind Ange.
Correct.
Is there a danger of Levy saying to Ange, thank you for your services, we'll give you, say, a £7 million payout as a severance package, right? Just out of clicking the figure out the air.
Well, it's 7 million is the actual number, because I think the last year of his contract is worth 5, plus you got a $2 million bonus for winning Europa. So
yeah, okay. So 7. I only picked that out of the air. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you guessed correctly.
Yeah. But thank you for your service, and let's move on. Oh, is he gonna anger some of the fan base out there? You look at the parade, you look how many Tottenham fans turned out for that. You look at his name being sang, and he says season 3 is always better than season 2, and then he's coming out and saying, "Oh, the main character may get killed off." It's a lot of mixed messages of what's happening. Should the club should have come out after the parade or before the parade and say, "Ange Postecoglou is our manager for the next season. He ain't going nowhere."
Well, to answer your first part of your question, no, I don't think that there's going to be much anger, because here's the thing: even though that Ange Postecoglou was a lightning rod for this
Yeah.
fan base, the fan base is split in half between Ange out and Ange in. But those that are on the Ange in side have known for a while, because of the league results, that there still is a strong possibility that he could be let go. And I think those people who are in the Ange in camp are resigned to the fact that, yes, you would want to see him back for a third season, but there's also a very good chance that that's not going to happen. I think that side of the fan base is resigned that, okay, fine, he might not be back. But I agree with you 100%. There has to be some statement, and I think that statement should have came before the Europa League final.
Yeah.
Leading into the Europa League final, where you actually can make a stand and say, "Hey, listen, we want to reward this because this is our first final since 2019. This is potentially our first trophy since 1984 from the Europe side, and so we want to reward that." But they didn't, right? And so it almost has the fact of leaving a manager twisting in the wind. But that being said, I'm not surprised there wasn't an announcement, and I seriously don't think that even what some of the most ardent Ange supporters will necessarily be surprised if he is let go. Now, you and I talked about this prior.
Yeah,
that
we did.
That because of the Europa League, and now that we know that Paratici's coming in, and that's the difference between Manchester United under Erik ten Hag and Tottenham Hotspur under Ange Postecoglou, is the fact that Tottenham is not going to be mismanaged.
No.
Whereas as Manchester United, it almost had the feeling of throwing darts at a dartboard, hoping somebody would stick.
They even gave Ten Hag a new contract before they sacked him.
And the crazy thing is he wanted players that he knew he could trust from his Ajax days, and so they were specifically targeting players from Ajax. And of course, you saw the difference between the Eredivisie and the Premier League. And unfortunately, it ended up biting him because as the pressure mounted, he alienated his players. Whereas Ange Postecoglou, when the pressure was mounting, he embraced his players and kept saying, "I believe in your ability to get this done. Go out and do something for me." You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think I think it's the fact that Ange embraced his players, that the players didn't give up even in some of the worst times. And it was because of that it paid itself off in a European trophy. So the difference is I think with Paratici through the door, he's going to do his best to make sure the players fit his strong suits. Whereas I don't think that happened with Erik ten Hag.
No. And look, in my view as well, big up. I just want to welcome big up to What's the Point FC and big up to Neil. Neil, I have started your question, your comments, so we'll get up to that, and big up to you as well. Look, I want with every which way, I'm going to be disappointed, because if Ange stays, I'm going to be overjoyed. If he leaves, I'm going to be disappointed, because he's won this trophy, and that's the bit. Yeah. What message does that send to another manager? What if he wins, say, I don't know, a cup double next season, the League Cup and the FA Cup, which can be done.
Season. It's a great season.
And then they say, right, sorry, you're sacked. What point does that? Is there a time? I mean, it's here. Where does he say? He did say.
Yeah, it does. Then
Ange will stay, but it needs proper backing. It is about proper backing. I mean, we can say it was a crap season, but I keep saying he wasn't backed in the summer window, and he wasn't backed in the January transfer window.
Correct.
And this is where I think Lang and Munn should take responsibility for that as well.
They should be fired, quite honestly.
Yeah,
they should be fired. Honestly. So,
do you know why? And also Ange as well. If you watch his press conferences, yes, once or twice he had a go at Werner, and I think who was the other player he spoke publicly about? Not very often. Was it
Basuma?
Basuma?
Yeah, I think it was.
But you look, he protected Lang, he protected Munn, he protected Levy, he protected the players. Every time there's a question, it's my responsibility. I say yes to the players.
Yeah, even he was answering questions that should have been directed at Levy, Lang, or Munn, and he was taking the bullets publicly. You know, the interesting thing about this is now, Dermot, I wasn't on the channel to start last season. But my prediction was that Spurs would fall somewhere between 6th and 8th in the table this year.
Yeah.
And I thought that they were easy. I thought they could win a trophy, but things would have to break right, and they had to stay healthy because there were a lot of positions that didn't have a proper deputy. And then in order for this season, in order for the Spurs to survive this season, like, they would have to get so many breaks and they would have to stay healthy, because if they didn't and they lost a couple key players, it was going to be tough sledding from that point on. And sure enough, they didn't just have a few injuries. They had a lot of injuries, and it happened all at the same time. And a lot of people blamed Ange for his style of play, and it's like, no. You look at some of these players, and they do have a history of getting hurt, right? So it is what it is, right? You're going to get injuries in football. I considered it just poor timing. But that being said, even at the beginning of the season, I didn't think they would finish in the top 5, but I didn't see them slipping outside of the top 10. But that being said, I thought they thought you looked at the roster, you saw the talent, and you're like, well, this team is capable of winning a trophy. Yeah. But things have to break right, and they have to stay healthy. This season, with Paratici in charge, I look at this team and I think to myself, we're not necessarily that far off. But one of the things that this team needs is proper squad depth. And I'm not just talking about bringing in more 22-year-olds that have already had their first cup of coffee with the first team. Like, we need players that have Champions League experience, potentially Premier League experience. And we need them playing massive roles for this upcoming season as well too. We cannot have another summer window where we bring in 4 kids and one established. Like, this has to be a season where we put a lot of stock in squad depth, and also, the type of squad depth that are going to help see this young team through.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just bringing up our everyone where we thought we would do in the cups, by the way, and who would win the league. I'm just bringing these up. I should have done this earlier. I'm going to bring up columns, and I'm going to bring up the Keelers as well. I know I can't find the rest of them, guys. I'm sorry. I know Philip did his, Carl Simpson did his as well. But I will say this is our cup, and then I'll bring up our leagues, our top 6 as well. So there's columns top. All right, just a question. Big up. Hang on, let me bring that up. Do you want to say hi there to Dan? He's your biggest fan, by the way.
Dan Davenport says, hey, Derma, hey, Steve. Again, great. We won the Europa League final, but we finished 17th and won't go unnoticed by Levy and Paratici. So if it was Levy, would be getting sacked. So if it was Levy, Ange would be getting sacked. If they're finishing 17th. And and Derma, you brought up a very interesting point, which is what message does this send to new coaches, right? Where you can get sacked. You can get sacked while winning the second biggest trophy in football. The third biggest trophy in football, second in Europe. And the thing about this is so what happens if you bring in a new coach and he wins the domestic double, League Cup, FA Cup, but finishes 12th? Is he going to get sacked? Is he going to get sacked? And I mean, it's that's the thing. And that's a part of this is why it's such a tough decision, because that Europa League should qualify you to at least start the next season.
Yeah, it does. It should.
Just saying.
But I've said it also that if you're going to backhand, you're backing for the whole season.
Yeah.
I've heard plenty. I keep hearing we're backing for the top 6. We're backing to Christmas.
Yeah.
That's BS. You're backing for the whole season.
You back him, and if the worst happens again, then you can make that decision to sack him at that point in time. But you go into the season backing him for the entire season, 100%.
Right. I'm going to go through Colin, myself, and Tequila's predictions before the start of the season, which is going to be fun.
And after you're done with it, I'll tell you where I had.
So this is Tequila's. This is what he said the top 6 would look like. Now he's gone for Man City to win the league, Arsenal to finish second, Liverpool third, Man United fourth, Villa sixth, and Tottenham in sixth place. Also in the cups, where's Tequila's cups? Or did I get? I haven't got. I will bring up his.
Okay.
I will bring up his thing. This is Column's top six. He's gone for Man City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, Man City fourth, Manchester United fourth, Tottenham fifth, West Ham sixth. And this is what he went for his cups. He went Man City to win the FA Cup, Liverpool to win the League Cup, Real Madrid to win the Champions League, Manchester United to win the Europa League, and I think that was Frankfurt to win the Conference League. Now, this was my top six. I got it spot on who was going to win the league. Sorry, Liverpool won the league. Thank you very much. You should have put money on. You need to listen to the Dermatron when it comes to your top six predictions. Got it spot on. I went for Manchester City second, Arsenal third, Tottenham fourth, Manchester United fifth, and Newcastle sixth. This was my where is it now? Columns Cup. Okay. All right. So what was yours, Steve? While I go and bring up the other two, where was yours?
Yeah, I had Manchester City winning it. I just thought that, if, they were able to stay healthy, I still thought that they had the best squad in the league. I had Liverpool finishing second. And I thought it was going to be a tight race. I thought it would go down to decision day. And I just thought Man City was going to be able to squeak one out. I had Arsenal finishing third. I had Villa finishing fourth. Newcastle finishing fifth. Chelsea sixth. Spurs seventh, Fulham eighth.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought like if things broke right, I thought we could potentially challenge again for fifth. But I just thought that because we didn't have the proper squad depth, and it would have taken a miracle to stay healthy throughout the course of the season. I thought anywhere between sixth and eighth was proper for us.
Yeah. Now this was the Keyless Cup winners. He went for Manchester United to win the FA Cup, which we know is Crystal Palace, Manchester City to win the League Cup, which we now know is Newcastle, Real Madrid not even in the final. And I will get your thoughts on that at the end of the stream because we are going to cover that tomorrow night, guys.
Correct.
The Champions League final. Tottenham to win Europa. Well, hey, we all got that right. And he went for Racing Club of Leeds to win the Conference League. This was my cup winners. I went for Villa to win the FA Cup, which they nearly did. Us to win the League Cup. Inter Milan to win the Champions League.
It's good. It's good.
Which could happen tomorrow, by the way. Us to win the Europa League. And I actually thought Fenerbahce might have won that Conference League, That was me. And then Columns Cups. Where's Columns Cup? Column went for cup winners. He went for went through that. So that was our thing. So if we go for the league, I think Tequila's actually, hang on, where's Columns? Tequila was fifth. So no, Tequila wins the top six for the league because he was the nearest to where Tottenham finished. So he wins that. Then for his cups, he gets 1 out of 5 right. So well done to you, sir. So you did well.
I had I had Liverpool winning the League Cup. I had us winning the FA Cup. Actually, no, that's exactly right. I had us winning the FA Cup Europa League double. I had AC Milan winning not Inter, but AC winning the Champions League. Maybe I was a little biased there. And I had Chelsea winning conference.
Well, you got that spot on.
Yeah.
This was Columns, and then where is it? So, so I think Tequila, you won. And if I win tomorrow in Milan, then I win. Just very quickly, guys, before we do move on with the rest of the show, I just want to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access, the best VPN around, guys. If you're out and about and you really are struggling away on holiday, like Steve was on the different side. Say Steve came over to London to watch Spurs play, and he can't watch his favorite football show on the telly,
Correct.
and he's thinking, what can I do? What do? You sign up to Private Internet Access. It's the link below, but you don't want to hear me talk about it, guys. You do not want to hear me talk about it. You want to hear our resident Irish actor who starred in many great films as like Doncaster Blinders. I need to come up with some new ones. I really do. Also, he is rumored to be starring in the new Mission Impossible film, all based in Doncaster. We don't know if it's true, but also he is in the new Doncaster Blinded films. But don't listen to me. Here is Killian O'Connor. He does kill me every time I call him that. Here's Killian O'Connor telling you a little bit about Private Internet Access.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about.
Oh, sorry. He was set. This is take 2 of it. All right. It's been a long season. Just bear with me. It's been a long season.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about Private Internet Access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as Private Internet Access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private Internet Access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private Internet Access. Get yours now.
And that is, I think there is a deal at the moment. I will get that checked in. I think there's an 85% offer at the moment to join Private Internet Access. But yeah, guys, €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free. It is the best VPN around. I use it all the time. I know Steve uses it as well. It is great for when you're away on holiday. I use it in England actually to watch some of my shows in Ireland that I wanted to watch. But yeah, it's great. The link for the description is below, guys. So do hit that and like and subscribe. Also, guys, if you can do us a big favor, do hit the like stream. It does mean a lot to us. It gets it out there in their algorithm. It gets us moving. It gets us growing. And also hit a like, hit subscribe. We're on the march. We are going to change the bottom to 5K. We're not going for 3K. We're going for 5 and then 10.
Correct.
But also pick up your memberships as well, guys. And if you can send it, I know times are tough out there, but a little super chat or a super sticker, it does help us grow, and it helps us keep doing what we love doing and get better graphics, better things. So next season, we're going to be the best Irish channel out there.
Oh, without a doubt, and I'm very proud of our partners with Private Internet Access. Do you know what the best part about that VPN is? Is I can actually set it to London and actually watch Netflix. With all the British shows that I enjoy. That's the best part about it. I don't get the US version of Netflix. I get the UK version, which is absolutely fantastic. But I will say this, that over the course of this upcoming summer and the upcoming season, this is where you want to be for all your Tottenham Hotspur news, because not only do we have shows lined up for you this summer, but we are also the spot for breaking news. And I think that cannot be understated, Derma. You have a history of you have a history with your sources that has enabled this channel to break news before Sky, before whatever the case may be. This is the place to do it. So those that are already subscribed, congratulations. Make sure you tell your friends that this is the spot for Tottenham Hotspur breaking news.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we were first to break Harry Kane. We were first to break about Ange coming. We were first to break Arne Slot even signing for Liverpool, by the way. And we were the first to break, I think, a month and a half ago that Paratici is coming back to Tottenham as well. So we are the channel for your breaking news, and we have a reputation for it. We don't get everything right, but what we do is we don't double check, we triple check our sources.
Correct.
And if we're not sure, we always put it out as a rumor, as an absolute rumor, until we can confirm 1000%, like Steve did today. So big up to you, Steve. I really enjoy it. Just big up to Dan as well. Neil saying difficult. Voiceover drama. Yeah, I know. I cocked that up.
I know.
Dan says, I can't see leaving Paratici saying to Ange, well done for finish. No, I can't, Dan, either. I agree with you 100%. And Iceman, big up Iceman. Big up Optimus Dermatron. Love this channel. Big up Iceman. Thank you so much. I will then transform and roll out. Sorry, I had to say that. I'm sorry. I'm a massive. I'll tell you a story behind this. It was Sean Butler who gave me this nickname. Sean Butler. Now I was on Dave's one, and he just come out with Dermatron, and it stuck. And I love it because I love Transformers, and it just all goes together. So big up to you, Iceman. Let's go through the season. Enough talking about it. Let's go and put some stats and some numbers to this. This was the 24-25 Premier League season. Steve, sorry. We finished 17th in the league with semi-finals in the League Cup where we lost, I think, 6-1 or 5-2. I can't remember now, to Liverpool. We lost to Aston Villa 2-1 away at Villa Park in the FA Cup fourth round. But we beat Manchester United 1-0 to win the Europa League. If you look at that, it's apart from the league, if we were better in the league, that would be a quite successful season, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And the interesting thing was, I thought this team was going to be competitive in the cups this year.
Yeah.
And I thought that the way this club had been set up, that I think that might have been the angle. I don't know how you felt, but I got the vibe that coming into the season, that if they could get close to where they finished in fifth, they would take this. But for me, I thought this club was set up because I think that the board understood the trophy drought and understood the fans desperate. I'll say it. Yeah, the desperation just to see something happen. And I don't know, man. I think that they really kind of put their eggs in the cups this year just to kind of get that monkey off their back. And sure enough, I thought they did brilliantly in the cup competitions this year. You're absolutely right. I think they got beat 6-1 in the aggregate. But that being said, we were within 90 minutes of Wembley in the Leagues Cup. We had a one goal lead in that aggregate going back to Anfield, and of course winning the Europa League. So from that standpoint, when I look at this, it's like I would actually say that regardless of the 17th league position, I still contend, Derma, that we actually had a good campaign just because we won the Europa League.
Yeah, but the league does matter.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it, right? And that's probably going to cost Ange's job. But when it's all said and done, let me ask you a question real quick. 5 years from now, when we talk about the 2024-2025 season, are we going to talk about the losses, or are we going to talk about the Europa League?
Of course, you're going to talk about winning the Europa League, aren't you?
There you go.
But I think it's so raw at the moment that this season is so raw.
Correct.
That you will you can't look past that. But look, I look at the League Cup, for example, right? We should have beaten Liverpool in the first leg, if I remember rightly, at least by 3-0.
Correct.
We absolutely didn't take our chances. And if we went up with a 3-0 winner up to Anfield, I think we would have reached the final. I think we would have gone through in penalties or something, but I don't think we would have got beaten up. We might got beaten, but we would have reached the final. I was so disappointed.
I would agree.
I'm so disappointed with our FA Cup run as well. 4th round, Villa away. We didn't play well that night. I remember doing the watch along to it. We were woeful.
But that was also right in the middle of the injury crisis where we didn't have Vicario, we didn't have our 2 center backs.
No.
We didn't even have Solanke. We didn't have anybody available for that one except for Sonny and Kulusevski. Outside of that, you look at Archie Gray and you look at Lucas Bergvall, who were still rounding into form by that time. So it wasn't, that's the thing. I agree with you. I thought the FA Cup was going to be the one that we won. But that being said, to go out in the 4th round, I'll take it one step further, to have to go to 96 minutes to beat Tamworth.
I know. That was a hard watch.
That was the signal that this probably wasn't going to be necessarily our cup run. It just so happens that, we're not going to, I don't care who you are. You're not going to see many positive results with the injuries that we had. It's just a fact.
That's where the famous Tequila 1 came out. We did a player rating after that, and Tequila says everyone got a 1. I mean, it's the most funniest player rating show I have ever done. It was blooming hilariously funny. But you're right. We seem to forget. I've done a lot of watch along. I've done every watch along this season, I think, bar 2. I only missed 2 games this season out of the whole campaign.
Right.
And that Tamworth one, I nearly fell asleep during that game. It was hard. But, that's what the FA Cup's about, isn't it? That's what the FA Cup is all about. It's about going to places and little team beating the big team. But we did save our best for last. We did win the Europa League.
Yep.
I was quite confident from Frankfurt that I felt 84 vibes. I was quite confident before the season started. You could see the predictions I did predict Spurs to win this, but
it was the Norwegian team at the end of the league phase. That when the youngsters scored at the end of it. And that was the start of something that I thought could potentially bear fruit because they just wouldn't allow themselves to lose. But for me, it was that second leg against AZ Alkmaar. That's when I bought in 100% that we were going to win.
I think you and me, I don't know if we were doing streams then, but it was the night when the kids scored, didn't they? All 3 kids did get a goal.
Yep.
And I think that was the night something switched in everyone's head. Hang on a minute. We could do something here. And if you look at it, second leg away, kept a clean sheet. Second leg away, kept a clean sheet. Final, kept a clean sheet. Can I just say that final, I know Yumi did the watch along to it, and it's a night I shall never forget for as long as I live. But I think that game was won, and I think I said it in the watch along as well. When Mickey van de Ven did that overhead kick off the line, I don't know if I said it then. I don't know if you said it or I said it, but someone said we've won now. We've won the Europa.
Correct.
I don't know if it's you or me, Steve. I can't remember, but we both said it. But I think we both.
I think it was you. I think it was you, and that was the moment where you just knew that tonight was our night.
Yeah,
that was it. That in that moment right there. But you know what? The other thing that final did for me is I think for Brendan Johnson that shed off the. I think because for me I call him a relegation merchant, right, where he can only show up against bottom of the table teams. But that being said, in a Europa in a Europe final, he showed up and was able to score on the game's bright lights, and I think that I'm hoping that was his watershed moment where Brendan Johnson is able to get away from just being a relegation merchant and being able to show up in big games. I hope that was it for him.
Just to say to you, Steve, I did tell you. Nobody listened to me. I do accept apology letters. Everyone, they are the post office is open. I am accepted. I even went on to Dave's show. I did the pre-match for Dave's that night, right? Just to finish off and don't let you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I turned around to the guys. I said he will score the winning goal tonight. and I said it on our one as well, I think.
Well, here's the thing. You said that and you're right. I do owe you an apology because not only did you guess it correctly, but I think you also might have said that he was going to score in the first half of it as well too. So I stand corrected, Derma, and I will semi buy into your delusion. But I think for that one, by the way, let's take a step back because you called it way back when. You said that it was written in the stars.
Yeah, I did.
And if you remember 84, Liverpool won the league, and we were like, yeah, well, okay, that's cool. And you kept saying it week in and week out. It's written in the stars. It's written in the stars. That there's a lot of parallels between the 84 season and the 2025 season. You are 100. You guessed it correctly all the way down to the finals. So you know what, Derma? I stand corrected. They
don't call me delusional Tron for nothing. That's what they do call
I will buy into it. I will buy into it 100% now.
Big up, Iceman. Iceman says, he says, Dermot, you called it 100%. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to boast about it. Big up to James. He says, technically, Manchester United were a bottom table team, Steve. Yeah, well, don't say that. Colin will be
but here's the thing, though. If it was a regular Premier League draw, 100%, but this was a European final. And Manchester United beat some pretty good teams that I actually thought they should have lost, but they were able to get there too, and it's still a final.
Can I just say, James is young lad, right? Mm-hmm. Out of the last 4 games, right, he got 3 out of 4 correct.
Listen,
I think
I don't know. There's got to be some telepathy going on where you and James's kids share like a common thought thread where you guys are able to predict the future. I don't know, man. But that being said, you also have to give James's kid some credit here.
Yeah, exactly.
He was pretty spot on too.
He was. That's why him and Logan, my nephew, is. I explained to you, Steve, about my nephew off screen, but I went to see him yesterday, and he does watch the channel, so I did give him big up, Logan. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Big up, Logan.
He's not the biggest football fan, but I got him his Spurs shirt, and he's blessing me. The 91 Cup final shirt I bought for him when I was in Tottenham, and he's going to put it in a frame and everything. So
excellent. By the way, before we continue, big up, James. I hope you're doing well, bud.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well as well, James. And James will be joining me now tomorrow night. I know we've got MLS, Steve. Yeah. I don't know what time that kicks off, but me and James are doing the Champions League final. We're going to cover that over on Full Time Sports Network. And then straight after that, I think it's straight to Steve for the MLS stream. So, do you know you go from one duo to the headmaster? So that's the way I look at it.
And that is going to be tomorrow night at 7:30 on Stateside Footy. It is the Chicago Fire versus Orlando City FC. So you're going to see some of the best in the Eastern Conference. Also, that's going to be 12:30 a.m. UK time. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, we also have our Saturday morning Spurs, which I believe you're going to be a part of as well, too, Dharma. So that should be fun as well, too. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. Oh, and just a quick announcement that we will be covering the Club World Cup this summer as well, too. The Seattle Sounders are going to be taking on Botafogo and Atletico Madrid. Those games will also be live streamed on Stateside Footy as well, too.
And also Full Time Sports Network as well.
Correct. And the Full-Time
partner,
Network,
our YouTube partner channel, which we've been linked up with for a long while now, for nearly 3 years this year. So big up for them, Bobby and the gang over there, and Colin as well, who's part of that channel as well. Big up. Iceman says, but you don't take anything from Bodo. They did knock out Lazio, and who were favourites. Yeah, they did, to be fair. James said, if you need an MLS watch along, buddy, you know I'm up for that. So there you got me and James doing the Champions League, and then you get Steve and James doing the MLS. What more do you want? Seriously, what more do you want? On a Saturday evening, you get 3 good-looking lads doing nothing but what they do, talking football. What more do you want? See, what my fear is, once I'm away on holiday, there could be a major takeover happening within THFC till we die.
Yeah,
I could go back to go back to being sacked. Big up to
and also and if there is any breaking news on Ange Postecoglou and a takeover, this is your home for that breaking news. Any news that comes out, we will be going live on air.
Yeah. If it's done before, I will go live. If it's not done, I know Colin, James, and Steve will be here, and also Rebel, and I know Tequila. I know he doesn't come on the shows, but Tequila will be in the chat as well. Big up to In Hype. It says the league has never been so competitive. We need to find 20 goals next season to be unplayable. Defenses needs to be tighter. Reglon replacement. Cherky, Ezzy, complete a deal for Tell. On Tell, just very quickly, my view on Tell is just take him on another year's loan with an option to buy at the end of that. I wouldn't pay. I think you take him on a year's loan. Ezzy, for me, get it done. Get Cherky's done. I think the rumors we're hearing that they could be done. I haven't got a big update yet. I'm waiting for a massive transfer update. So Maybe I'll get that on Sunday, I think.
I have heard some news on Ryan Cherky. He has said yes to the idea of coming to the Premier League. But as of right now, he's leaning more in the Man City direction than the Tottenham direction. But that being said, there is a way to get Ryan Cherky in the door, and that is to make sure that the wages meet the ambition. But that being said, I agree with you on Tell. I think the asking price for Tell right now is just a little too high for a raw winger. And I would agree with you. If you can get him back on another year-long loan, that's the direction you go in 100%.
Yeah, I would get him on a loan deal. Ezzy, please get Ezzy in. Please. If you are over here, just go over to Steve. Hit a subscription on Steve's channel as well if you can.
Yep.
It is our American sister channel, so we're one big happy family. But we want to get this main channel up to 5K. We want to get Steve to 500. So where everyone is earning, everyone is getting, and then Steve can then join me full time on YouTube. Or James can as well.
Wouldn't that be the absolute dream?
And Colin.
Where we have enough sponsor revenue where all four of us can do this full time. Wouldn't that be excellent? But
I would love that. I really would love that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, great. Brennan Johnson, 18 goals this season, 11 in the league, 1 in the Carabao Cup, 1 in the FA Cup, 5 in the Europa League. So 18 goals in all competitions. He did, though, finish 17th in the league for top goal scorers. He was the club top goal scorer with 11 goals, 33 appearances, 9 subs. Look, I want to start on Johnson, right, by saying there is a talent there.
Yeah.
Now, I have said about putting Brennan Johnson into a 10 role or even putting him into a striker. Now, everyone says to me, you're talking absolute, what have you taken? But I go back to the days of, you look on Thierry Henry. Didn't he play in the left side? And wasn't it Wenger that moved him into the striker role? And his career took off. And also, Brennan Johnson has this knack of being in the right place at the right time. Now, you can go back through the history of soccer. Gary Lineker, Gerd Muller, Jimmy Greaves. People, I'm not saying Brennan Johnson. Before people start jumping on my saying Jimmy Greaves, I'm just using it as an example as a striker that was in the 6R area and would be in the right place at the right time. Gary Lineker was like that, back in the right place at the right time. Brennan Johnson does that. But I will agree, his defensive work has to improve. But in that final against Man United, he worked really hard down that right side with Porro. And I think against Brighton as well, he worked hard as well. You can see the improvements in his defensive ability. He needs to improve on that, but there is a talent there.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you go with Brennan Johnson next season? Do you move him? Whoever comes in, do you think another manager, say it's Inzaghi, right, comes in? Could you see him moving Brennan Johnson as a striker figure? Or am I really just delusional enough that I've now one flew over the cuckoo's nest?
What I will say is that
film, by the way.
If you want to move Brennan Johnson, now would be the time to do it because he's 22, 23, and he's still in his developmental curve. So you could possibly do that. And it does make sense because when you look at his offensive workload compared to his defensive workload, he seems to be a little bit better on the offensive side than the defensive side. So maybe it might be beneficial. But one of the biggest problems that I have with Brendan Johnson right now is that even from a winger position, his service and delivery into the box is still subpar. There's a lot of things that he still has to work on in order to be a good passer, and also a good crosser. One of the things that that's going to take time. And so, like, when you're talking about a 10, you also have, not only do you have to be able to distribute, but it also takes vision. And I don't necessarily I don't know if he doesn't necessarily have that frontline vision. But here's the thing I got to point out: from his first season with Tottenham last year, and you saw the ceiling, and you saw some good matches, and you saw some absolute duds, but you saw the progression, and then you saw the preseason this year, and then you saw his season, and clearly he has gotten better from season to season. Right? Yeah. Like, if we didn't see the improvement, I could understand the I guess you can call it the hate or the vitriol from the fans.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you see 11 goals and 33 appearances, to me, that doesn't tell me he's a bad player. Now, granted, the things that I think about Brendan Johnson, it's like, okay, great. I tongue in cheek, I call him a relegation merchant because he can only score against the Ipswiches and the Leicesters and whatever the case may be. But that being said, the last thing that comes with every developed player is consistency. That is some have it early, and not every prospect is created equally. Some take time, and when it comes to Brendan Johnson, that's probably going to be the last thing that comes is his consistency, where he's able to do it on a week in and week out basis. Yeah. And I don't think he's there yet. But I do see I see a good prospect with a high ceiling, and if he can improve from his 11 goals in 33 appearances this year in the Premier League and inch closer to that 20 next year, you're going to see some consistency throughout. That's all I'm going to say.
So you're looking at a 10-goal improvement then, or a 9-goal improvement then for him for next season. Yeah, I would agree with that. But look, look, I've just got this faith in Brendan Johnson that he can do it. And don't ask me why, but I just like his attitude. I like the way he is. He seems like a good lad. He seems like he doesn't get into trouble. You don't see what Basuma's done, what Basuma did before the start of the season. He seems to keep himself to himself, gets on with his game, but I think he's also committed to the game as well. And he didn't ask to have a 50 million transfer put on his head.
Right. And imagine the pressure, right? Of trying to live up to that transfer fee. And for me, it's just continuing to develop. But that being said, I also believe there should be some competition for him next year, because that's going to accelerate.
Yeah, I think so.
Because with knowing that week in and week out that your name's not going to be in the starting 11, that kind of competition is going to make him better.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Just want to give big up to everyone in the chat. We've got I can't say her first name. I do apologize.
Casey.
Is it
Casey? Her name is Casey Flockhart. Yep.
Yeah. Big up. Have you heard any transfer rumors for Tottenham? Rumors. I will let you know. I'm just waiting on an update at the moment, so I will give you that, Casey. In case
big up, Casey.
Big up. Yeah, big up. I have some of them drugs, Dermo. Well, I am on certain drugs for medical reasons. So yes, you can't have any of my drugs because I need them.
No drugs.
And say no to drugs, by the way, only for medical reasons. And then he says no, Inzaghi will sell them. I don't think so.
Inzaghi will sell them.
I don't think Inzaghi would actually.
We don't know if Inzaghi is going to be that guy, but what I will say is that these are the years where you don't necessarily want to sell him. Now the thing about it is next year if he comes out and he has a subpar year, then you can flirt with that idea. But when you look at Brendan Johnson from last year to this year, you saw an improvement. And it is my contention that next year we will see an improvement on this season. So. I kind of want to see James. I want to see Brendan Johnson develop. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
I'm not at the point of selling.
No, just to give you a bit of, Casey, you asked for some transfer rumors, and we've got some transfer rumors. Tottenham are very keen on signing Hugo Larsson this summer. Also, which I wouldn't be a bad deal. I wouldn't mind him at Tottenham. I like Hugo Larsson personally, but that's just my opinion. Wrexham do want Ben Davis, which, do you know what? I think that'd be a good move for Ben Davis. Playing for a Welsh club, captain them. Can you imagine captaining Wrexham into the Premier League?
That would be, and I think for Ben Davis, that would be just a tremendous fit.
I think so.
Going back to a Welsh club that has so much momentum, and make no mistake, Wrexham has a tremendous amount of momentum right now. Yeah. 3 straight promotions. They're 1 step below the Premier League, and they also have ambitious owners that want to get to a Premier League. And Ben Davis seems like a natural fit. The question is can he fit in the back 3 of Phil Parkinson's system? Don't know, but I think from a cultural standpoint, from a Welsh standpoint, it makes sense.
Right. I'm just got some news in. I'm just checking. Can I use that? I know our source always watches these shows. Big up to the source. Big up source, as we like to call them. We do have James. You go in, man.
Big James.
I tell you what, James, if you look, just give us a shout in the private chat once you're ready to come in. Okay, or log yourself in. So I'm just waiting if that's I got a lovely gift from him. Lovely. He sent me a gift. Right. This is breaking news. I got to play the breaking news thing now. This is major breaking news. We need to do a new one. I know we do. Yep. So sorry, Steve, your eardrum's about to get blasted. So I do apologize. Now, the news I've got is this, and it's just dropped in the last couple of minutes. And this may change the whole outlook on the show, by the way. Hang on. So Dermot had this today, but was saving transfer. Oh, okay. All right.
Break it.
I will. Hang on. I just need to do something very quickly. Right. A meeting with an unnamed Spanish coach has happened. It's unclear what the meeting was about, as Daniel is still taking his time in regards to the current head coach's position. Now, are you looking at... Now, this is sort of all rumors again, just my ad. Okay. We can't confirm this. I'm waiting for confirmation if this actually has happened. So we treat it as a rumor, but that is from our source.
Inzaghi is the Italian, and they've had a meeting with a Spanish coach,
Xavi.
I do believe that he's Spanish and he's available.
I would love Xavi. I've gone on the question. If you're gonna, he's got the same principles as Ange, but he's got a plan B, C, D, and E, and F and G.
Correct.
But this is I'm just gonna I'm just trying to get confirmation. Just give hang on, where's the button? I hate my keyboard because I can never see what I'm looking for. I'll use that one. Bollocks it. I don't know. Okay. I'll just send that. Okay. And we do have another bit of news. Now, this is a rumor as well, which I'm also going to... by
the way, there is also some more breaking news in the private chat, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's the one I've just sent to James knows I do this. So James, don't are you coming back in, Jimbo? Let him know if you are. He's just our sources just come back with James, you do us a favor. Nope, he's in the bath. He came on in the bath, for God's sake. Can you get in touch?
By the way, that is talent, and we do not need to see the video of you in the bath. Although there are going to be, there is some people that wouldn't mind seeing that though.
This show's so going on OnlyFans soon.
Meow.
Yeah. James, can you you know who our source is, by the way, as well. So send it to him and he would double check it. Hang on. Oh, yes. Oh, he's a 90. I didn't know about this actually, but big up to James for shoving that in. It's a 19-year-old. His name is Rooney.
Bahardi.
I don't know if you, yeah. Yes, there are solid talks taking place at the moment. So that is confirmed. We can confirm that.
Yep. Rooney Bahardi, yep.
But on this meeting, I'm waiting for a confirmation, just a thumbs up that I can use that as confirmation or still a rumor. And once I will get confirmation, I'll let you know. But a meeting with well, you can sort of say it's true because he wouldn't have said it otherwise. But a meeting with an unnamed Spanish coach has happened. This is unclear what the meeting was about. Right, let's break it down. Unnamed Spanish coach. What we're looking at, Xavi. I mean, I know Dan's put Rafa Benitez, but that ain't gonna happen. That's not.
Well, I think Rafa is Argentinian, and I think he's in. I think didn't he go back to
Rafa Benitez is Spanish.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, big up to Tony. Big up Tone, the only West Ham I truly respect and like. He is. He wants us. He really is a lovely, lovely West Ham fan. He does run a great. I've been on this show a few times. Love it on there. Always get treated with respect when I go on there. Funnily enough.
Excellent.
He does it with an Arsenal fan, and I do watch a lot of it. Though I don't comment, Tone, I do watch you all the time actually, and it is always a good laugh. But big up to you. We'll definitely have to get you on in the summer. Talk about the West Ham thing, because I think you're in a crossroads with West Ham where you go next season and where you where you're going to go. I'm going to ask you a question, actually, Tone. Let me know. Would you take an Ange Postecoglou at West Ham? Let me know. Would you?
Wouldn't be a bad fit.
And I tell you one thing, Harry Potter as well is doing well down there. I know Graham Potter, but Dave called him Harry Potter, and I'm going to stick to that. But if he gets the right players in there, I think West Ham could be there about next season, actually, to be fair.
The reason why Ange Postecoglou would work at West Ham is because, number one, there is no pressure, right? It's not a Big Six club. But they're also the type of team that does have some ambition where, if you hire an Ange Postecoglou and he says, listen, man, I need a squad size that is going to help me guide through the season to withstand injury, they're going to do it. And they'll do it at their own price point, but they will do it. And they'll kick on with a guy like Ange Postecoglou. But that being said, I think they are committed to Harry Potter. I know we call him Harry, but they are committed. They are committed. And I think this season you're going to see a lot of outgoings, but I would be surprised if they didn't make a few key moves to give Graham Potter at least a good shot at trying to succeed there.
Yeah. Dan says Julian, now the former West Ham manager, is another Spanish coach. That's a good point. I think if you're looking at it, then I think Xavi would be the logical choice.
Right.
The
biggest
sorry,
problem,
go on.
I was going to say the biggest problem with Lopetegui at West Ham was the fact that a lot of the players were confused on exactly which direction Lopetegui was going in. It didn't seem there was a good communication between Lopetegui, his staff, and the players, and I think that was probably one of the biggest reasons why players said, I think we're good, because they had no idea exactly what Lopetegui actually wanted him out. Yeah.
And it is quite funny as well. Both clubs are waiting on takeovers. We're waiting on our takeover to be confirmed and 100%. West Ham are waiting for takeover as well with the American US takeover happening. So it could be an interesting. It says some fans would, but I'm not sure if it would fit. Big up Dermot and Steve. There was talk to West Brom. I haven't talked to Ryan Mason's agent about being the new West Ham manager, West Brom manager. For me, I think it's a great chance for him to be his own boss, be his own man. But why would you leave Tottenham where you're on a good thing at Spurs? Do you know, he seems to be there and thereabouts with every new manager he's on the coaching stuff.
I I would ask this question: and does Ryan Mason have an opportunity to be the head coach at Tottenham Hotspur within the next 10 years? And the answer is probably no. And so if he wants to be the head guy, this would be the next logical step, going to a team like West Brom. The problem with West Brom, though, is are they the type of team that is going to be regularly pushing for championship playoffs or even trying to get promotion? I don't.
Is he? Sorry, I don't mean to say, Steve, but just put it this way: is he ambitious enough? That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Yeah, like I think he is, but does West Brom match his ambition? Yeah. And it's like, are you content taking over a team that's roughly going to be the same next year, give or take maybe a few players? Are you going to potentially go out there to try to bring in, good goal scorers for that, for that level? Don't know. But that being said, it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be a bad thing to try to shoot your shot at West Brom. If you're successful, you'll be back in the Premier League, and if not, you probably have a welcome door back into the fold as an assistant.
I think so. Tony goes on and said, no one could understand him, Steve. To be honest.
Yeah. That was the biggest problem with Lopetegui is he couldn't communicate what he wanted with his players, and I think after a while they just said, "We're just going to go play football." And yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, right. We're going to have for a few more minutes, and then we're going off because Mrs. Tron's got my dinner ready, and Dermatron is hungry. I'm very hungry.
Dermatron is hungry.
I'm on a diet at the moment. I'm on a carb-free diet.
Me too.
So,
me too.
I'm very hungry. So, listen, that news about the meeting, it is unconfirmed, but we are in the middle. We're in the middle. Let me get my teeth in. We are at this moment in time trying to find out as soon as possible if it has happened and who it was with. So, as soon as we know, we will come live back straight away.
Yeah.
With all the latest news on this. This is a very interesting one. It's a take a Dermo, reach out, we'll do something for sure. Big up, Tony. Listen, everyone do good over to Hammers Football TV as well.
And I wouldn't mind them having on the Saturday show on Stateside Footy.
Yeah.
So quick question for you, Dermo. If this is Xavi, how excited, like, would the excitement of Xavi erase your disappointment of Ange Postecoglou leaving?
Hell yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It really would. Can I just say I'm very proud of my channel for one thing, our channel or my channel, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this channels that we absolutely respect other fans from other clubs coming into here. And it's one of the biggest things. This channel has probably got one of the best communities on YouTube. That we have Liverpool fans coming here. We have Arsenal fans coming here. Yeah, we banter with them, but it's a bit of fun. We have a Chelsea fan. We have an Everton fan. We have a Newcastle fan comes in here.
Yeah,
very much respected. And I love that about this channel because that's what football's about. It's about banter. It's about respecting, but respect is a big word, isn't it, in football? And we do that here. We do that here. Just a bit more news. Tottenham inquired about Christopher Nanuku Nkunku. You're better at surnames than me.
Christopher Nkunku.
Yeah. Tottenham have inquired about him. Now, these are all rumors, by the way. These are just rumors. Nothing's 100% confirmed. And also, there is apparently Eze and Diblin are on a short list. Well, there's only one name in that short list I want at Tottenham, and it ain't Diblin.
I wouldn't mind Tyler Dibbling. I think he adds some intrigue at those positions. But yeah, I would probably assume that Eberechi is a name that I think all Tottenham fans would love to have. And especially when you think of potentially in Leroy Sané. But the interesting thing though is Derma is, and especially if it is Xavi, imagine having two high tens of Eberechi and James Maddison playing next to each other, with potentially with Kulusevski playing out on the right. That would just be absolutely insane. But that being said, the question is what this forward line is going to do on the left side, and whether or not Sonny is going to play full time next year. But can you imagine
exactly?
Can you imagine having Xavi as your head coach with 2 high roaming 10s of James Madison and Eberici Easy? How dangerous this team is going to look.
Hang on. I've just got this. Xavi, as of 10 minutes ago, has gone 10-1 with the bookies to be the next Tottenham manager.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Now, is there any coincidence with the news, with that rumored news we broke and then that happening?
Yeah. And you know what the interesting thing though, right, is because
also, been told, Steve,
agents are talking. I was going to say agents are talking. That's why this is out right now.
Also, our source has been told, and he's telling me that they have managed a European club. Now,
okay.
I love this. I tell you one thing, Steve, right? I love the football season. It's exciting, right? My biggest thrill is the summer period. I get such an adrenaline rush.
I do too.
When it comes to transfer stuff. I mean, Derwin will tell you, or Mrs. Tron will tell you, I every show I do, I get such an my adrenaline is buzzing. And I will fall asleep.
Do you know why I love it? Is because of everything that you just said, right? He's a Spanish coach who has coached a European team.
Hang on.
Like, so are we supposed to like, you know, connect the dots or play some weird Where's Waldo game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we're deciphering clues. But that's what I love about the hot stove, because it's like, you know, the rumor mill just swirls. But the thing I like about this is it's the only time where agents leak news, like at a clip where you get all this information. I just love that.
Yeah. It is. Big up to James for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so much, James. He's welcome to the bronze membership. Big up to you, James. Thank you so much.
He became a member while in the bath. Excellent.
Yeah. That's a site. That is a site that is right. Okay. You would have to take it down to gutter level, wouldn't you? This is very quickly. We just go through here. This is Ange Postecoglou's record this season: 38 games, 11 wins, 5 draws, 20. We've talked about the league season anyway to death. 38 points in 101 matches for the club. He's had a point per match at 1.53. This is his overall record. Tottenham in the Premier League: 76 wins, 31 wins, 11 draws. 34 defeats, 104 points. FA Cup and League Cup. Now, this is together. This is last season and this season together. 6 wins, 5 wins, 2 defeats. And, of course, only this season in the Europa League, 15 played, 10 won, 3 drawn, 2 defeats. And then I found this little nugget. Spurs European winners, and it is a question, and it was posed to me, and I knew the answer anyway. But what does Bill Nick, Keith Birkinshaw, and Ange Postecoglou got in common? They've all won European trophies. But look at their worst seasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
58-59. Bill Nick finished, I think he 19th. Finished in 19th. Keith Birkinshaw in the 76-77 seasons got us relegated. Ange Postecoglou finished 17th. Bill Nick, double side, the best manager. Tottenham, Mr. Tottenham, won every trophy in Tottenham could offer. He won. He won League Championship. He won 3 FA Cups, a UEFA Cup and 2 League Cups. Keith Birkinshaw, of course, won 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup as well. And Ange Postecoglou won the Europa League. But it's it is unbelievable. That's that though. Yeah. Big up to James.
Mr.
Shooting in at the end. Look, we have got a bit of news breaking, James. Tonight that it's been unconfirmed that this is all rumored, by the way, guys. We're not saying this has happened. This is only a rumor. But apparently, a meeting with an unnamed Spanish coach has happened. It's unclear what the meeting was about, as Daniel is still taking his time in regards to current head coaches, which I think you rumored sort of today in the show earlier, Steve, didn't you? That Ange, you're looking at 48 hours, but apparently that's another rumor mill going around.
Yeah, and I prefaced it by saying, yeah, that was the rumor that within 48 hours that
Yeah.
announcement could be made public. Yep.
Yeah. And also, he got back to me and he said they have. He got back to me. Our source. He said they have managed European club, and Xavi, as of 10 minutes ago, has gone to 10-1 with the bookies. Now, just one quick question, guys, before we do end up. I'm sorry, James, you've stuck in here at the end. You like a horse in the Grand National, or I don't know what the big race in America is. Is it we just had the
Kentucky
Indy
Derby.
500, right? It just had the Indy 500, which I love, by the way. Coming in off the bend, and you've just knocked into one. Bookies are never wrong, are they, guys? The bookies are never wrong, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
If you were $10 and you were going into the bookies tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
who are you putting your
Which I might.
$10 on? Who are you putting your $10 on?
Ooh, that's a great question. See, I'm the type of guy that hedges my bet and would put $10 on Xavi and $10 on Ange Postecoglou, just because I don't want to lose. But if you held a gun to my head and put $10 down on, it would probably be Xavi.
Yeah. James, where's your 10 quid going on?
I would put it on 100-1 shot Eric Ten Hag. No, I really wouldn't.
He's already got a job.
I'd probably put it on Inzaghi or Xavi, one of the two. It'd be a coin flip.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
You know what? I think I'm like Steve. Tenor and Ange to stay, but if he does go, I want Xavi to replace Ange. I want Ange to stay, by the way. I want Ange to get he deserves next season, but if Levy does decide to make a change, then I want Xavi coming in. Because I think Paratici, he could work with a Paratici. He knows how to work with kids as well. You saw what he did up in Barcelona as well when he was manager. David Clark here says, very serious. This is a serious comment, guys. This is very serious. We have to be serious now about this comment. And also, I am sorry, David. We're going to be very serious with this comment. We really are. He says the meeting with the Spanish person was Evie trying to get a nanny to work in next season's crash.
That's funny.
Yeah. See, I did get you guys to think. He says also, can you believe 3 London clubs have won trophy this season and Arsenal not mentioned? I know. Do you know what? I had a dream last night that Arsenal Premier League brought out the bottle cop for Arsenal. And they just gave it to him. There is a new year doing. Steve, but that is it. That is our season review.
Yeah.
It's been a good show. Nice to have you back, man.
It's great.
Nice to have you back and do shows. Tell all people about our sister channel in America, Stateside Footy Till We Die.
Yeah. Quickly, before I get to that, it actually has been. I wouldn't say 100% confirmed that Ryan Mason has signed and I think Spurs Side Chat also backed it up that Ryan Mason has signed a 3-year deal with West Brom. So congratulations, Ryan Mason.
Oh, big up Ryan Mason.
Yep. But the other thing though is, so head over to Stateside Footy, and tomorrow morning we also have our Saturday morning Spurs where we do recap certain elements of this upcoming season and tie a bow. A week from tomorrow we have our award show where we hand out the good and the bad from the 2024-2025 season, and I believe Dave Harris from the Irish Hotspur will be along for that one as well too, as we hand out our trophies. And so tomorrow, obviously, we're doing that. And then we have the MLS live stream tomorrow, which is going to be the Chicago Fire, led by former U.S. men's national team head coach Greg Berhalter. They traveled to Orlando City to take on the Lions. So that is going to be a very, very, very entertaining match. And I'm sure James is going to be along for that one tomorrow as well, too. But also, for those that need a home for the Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup, it would be Stateside Footy, as we will be showing matches from the Club World Cup as well as the Gold Cup as well too for all you English U.S. men's national team fans. I'm hoping there are some. U.S. men's national team fans there.
I did. You know what? Being Irish, I'd support any team that's winning.
Yeah. So there's a
I'll
lot
take
going on
anything.
this summer.
Yeah.
For those that are football crazy that need some football in the off season, stateside footy is where you want to go. So head over, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys over there, man.
Yeah, and also tomorrow's game, also all the Americans on stateside footy, also on the Full-Time Sports Network as well, which has been linked up as well. All Match Day Magic, we're not sure what's happening. We may be bringing our Big Up channel to YouTube, so we're not sure what's happened there. James, you're joining me tomorrow evening for the Europa League, the Champions League final. So I'm going to have a blast with that. It's going to be interesting who we get for the Super Cup, by the way. That's made that game even more interesting.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting if Inter Milan won it, Inzaghi leaves, and then he becomes for Spurs' next manager. Imagine that.
I don't want Inzaghi.
That would be,
I'd rather have Ange Postecoglou. I'd rather have I don't want another Italian manager.
So we're looking at an Inter Milan versus PSG final.
Yeah. And who predicted Inter Milan's going to win the Champions League? Of course, me at the start of last season. I am the chosen one.
Yeah. I am the chosen one. Go with Inter Milan on this one. I'm taking Inter Milan for the win.
Yeah, as I keep saying, I am the chosen one. So do
bollocks, James.
PSG are too strong.
Yeah,
they'll beat. They will beat.
No, they won't.
PSG's
Anyway, we will watch that tomorrow night. Big up to David Clark. He says my £10 going on Levy signing James McAteer for 20 million instead of Eze for 68 million. You may get a surprise there, David. And he said also saying on £280,000 a week wages, and Neku is on 185 a week. You think Levy's going to sign them up? Yep, I do. And then we've got Hamster Gamer. You see, Champions League for PSG, please. Well, big up Hamster Gamer. Please hit the like button and subscription button. I do like your logo. It's very cool. But guys, thank you for watching. What a roller coaster of a season. We've had ups, we have downs, but I will leave you with this little bit of news. We are European champions. And Arsenal, you will never say that. That's all I'm going to say. Goodbye to the 24-25 season. Thank F for that. And hello to the 25-26 season where Tottenham going to win 5 trophies and not the quads on, the 5 trophy runs on that bombshell. See you tomorrow. Bye.